What is happening, man?
It's kind of our Friday.
Sort of. We're going to treat it that way because tomorrow's going to be great.
Half day and on to Fogo.
I'm hungry.
So tomorrow we will be doing, hopefully, a foodie show.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that should be good stuff.
But for today, we welcome you to another episode of The Commute.
Where I will be your driver.
I guess I'll be the passenger.
It starts already. Dude, I haven't even got a block. This is a new record.
Ding, 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 ding. Tell them what they won. You won a lovely stay in the city of Wilmington, Delaware.
They've won my uncontrolled angst.
So we'll start out with a little sport thing today. This year the World Cup is in Brazil. That's
yeah.
Be going on.
We were talking about that before. The guy that only ate the green and yellow or whatever.
Green and yellow food, and he only wears green, yellow, blue, and white.
Right.
So it's a big deal for Germany. They're a big soccer country.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Now the World Cup for them is like the Super Bowl for us, except they only get it every 4 years. So you imagine how big the Super Bowl would be if it only happened every 4 years.
Right.
So what the unions are trying to do there for a lot of the businesses is to allow people to come in late or not at all the day after a big match.
Mm-hmm.
Regular game, they said, okay, but the closer they get to the end, they'd like to have the next day off because a lot of their games, due to the time zone differences, won't start till around 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
So imagine if the Super Bowl didn't start till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. People would still watch it. They wouldn't care, and they'd all show up to work the next day all
tired.
Nutty. And the businesses there said they will actually consider it. I thought that would never go over here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as of now, they know how big the Super Bowl is, and they could care less.
I mean, for as lazy as we're made out to be, you're good. But, I don't know. I mean, we work a hell of a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Just as a whole.
And with us, it's only one day and they won't do it. Here, they're considering it for a number of games.
Just, the hits just keep on coming.
But I thought that would be really cool.
Well, you know what? What that made me think of was I wonder how they do their playoffs since it's only every 4 years. How does it get narrowed down to who goes?
Well, the year before they have a tournament and you play so many teams. They put you in groups, and you play each team twice in your group, and the top 4 from each group go get an entrance to the World Cup.
And how many teams are there? Let's let the blind guy go.
You sure you want to let him go?
Yeah.
Teams there are. Oh man, I'm trying to remember FIFA. I'm trying to remember FIFA. There's, I want to say 24 teams.
Okay.
I think there's 6 groups, 4 each, that make it, and then you have to, I believe, be in the top 2 of that group during the World Cup to move on to a, round robin or whatever they want to call it, single elimination.
Yeah. So really, I mean, that's not that far off.
And it could be off of the numbers. I don't know my soccer all that much. So I'm just going off of FIFA.
Yeah.
From what I played years ago.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You're welcome.
But that would be killer. I mean, it should be a national holiday here, the Super Bowl.
You think?
Certainly do, man. It's like even people that could give 2 shits about football,
they're gonna want a day off.
They go to a party or There's very few that don't.
Yeah, because really anymore, I don't really care. I go to the party. I don't really care about the game. Can we make?
Yeah,
this
I rarely care about the game. What the fuck is she doing?
I have no idea.
Text
Just sitting there.
Yeah, I know. Rarely do I care about actually who wins, unless my team's in it, and they never are. So.
Yeah, to me, there's just too much money involved in it. I just like that whole thing. It gets to a certain point where it's just so blown out of proportion. Like I just don't even care about it anymore.
Well, did I ever tell you about? I used to have this girlfriend, and her father was against TV.
Yeah.
And he, to the point where he was so against TV because of commercialism, they weren't even allowed to have a TV in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Yet every year for the Super Bowl, he would rent a TV for that day. The biggest
The
commercialized day of the year. And I don't get it because it wasn't like he watched sports all year through because they didn't have a TV.
Yeah.
But
for that one event, huh?
So, I mean, that goes to show you how big the Super Bowl is. This guy didn't even watch TV.
Yeah, and he brings it in.
Yeah. The one day a year.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, that's not many more teams than, American football. Really?
Playoffs has right now 12 teams that make it, and they want to up that to 14.
So, I mean, why don't they have like a mega Super Bowl every 4 years? Make it even more elite than.
How would you settle that though? Because
sickness that it is.
How would you decide? I guess you'd have to play then for 4 years, try to build your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like restructure the way the draft is done and everything to make it so you're building for that.
Dude, they would never. There's so much money in the Super Bowl. They would never do that. I agree, it would be cool, but and then you can make it a national holiday.
Well,
every 4 years, everyone gets a day off.
You know what? If your sport's dying, as
if it's dying, yeah.
Well, I mean, we talk about any of these other professional sports.
Yeah. Hockey, basketball, baseball.
These are dying industries. I mean, they're trying to hold on to any entertainment value they can.
Yeah. Do that.
I don't know. Take a chance. Do
and their answer is, and that's their answer, is that's why the playoffs are so huge. You almost have to be one of the worst teams in the league in hockey not to make the playoffs.
Right.
Because they're hoping that some city gets in that'll bring them ratings.
Right.
Yeah,
but
Philadelphia,
to that
New
point,
York.
The value of it is so diluted.
Right. If it happened every couple of years, maybe people would watch it more. You would get more that 1 year than you would the 3 or 4 prior.
Still have the same playoff things every year and still have the same, Super Bowl feel to it, but, one up it,
This year you're really champion.
It's the Uber Bowl every 4 years. And you get a gold ring rather than don't they get like silver rings or silver looking rings? The Super Bowl rings?
Super Bowl, they get gold. You kidding? Big ass gold. If it's not gold, it's platinum.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but it's like a silver color.
Oh yeah.
So make these gold.
Well, Christ, even them, they differ each year because they have these big designers come in and make the rings, and they're worth $20,000 a piece.
Right.
But yeah, I was glad to see someone taking the initiative to make a sport so major that you need a holiday for it. And hopefully that'll catch on.
Yeah.
Because I hate going the day. I'm not going to. That's the thing. I refuse to take a day after the Super Bowl because that's such a waste of a day and it's early in the year. But man, if we could just have it off, or a half day in the afternoon or something.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what really does make a holiday.
Yeah.
Is it the amount of greeting cards that are sold? It's.
I mean, we have off.
It's people collectively agreeing that
it's a holiday.
Right. There's not enough people to make, production worthwhile.
I mean, think of Labor Day. It's just
it has more value.
Day. People don't really give a shit. Like, what does it mean? It's just giving you a day off. At least the Super Bowl would have meaning.
Yeah, Labor Day really. I mean, it doesn't hold the same value as it once did.
All it means is the end of the summer. So let's check out this day in history. April 24th, 1800. Library of Congress established.
Yeah.
First library catalog in 1802. Stored 964 books. Nice. The British Army invaded and burned the Capitol in 1814, including the library, featuring 3,000 books. That's a shame. Thomas Jefferson responded by selling his collection, 6,487 books, to the library. Man, I would love to have that many books. What's up?
6,000.
Big library
Count
in your
them
house.
in the thousands. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't that good of a guy. He sold them. Here you go, country.
Well,
Hey, he said
yeah,
I took my knocks.
I thought of that too, but you know, it was a completely different view on like what Congress was at that time and what it represented. You know,
That's true.
It wasn't really the same thing. It was like a collective. You know, to just like nowadays, people be more apt to like donate to a collection like that, or
Right.
you know, or these like presidential libraries where
books were probably also more
select
rare and
whatever it
precious
is.
back then. They didn't make 8 million copies of them.
Yeah, I mean, the first order, those 900 books, those, you know, they had those special printed and shipped over from London, and
Wow.
so yeah, I mean, there was only so many printers and so many places where those books could be done in the world. But then that collection burned too.
1851, second fire destroyed 2/3 of the 55,000 book collection.
Mm-hmm. But 2/3 of his original collection were burned in that too.
I'm guessing that's when they came up with the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Fire stations.
The patent for that burned up in the.
Today, the library consists of 3 buildings and 17 million books. Wow, 17 million books?
Yeah. 17 million.
What's this one?
It is not 95, which I heard
It's all
is
jacked right now?
a wreck.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna try this route.
April 24th, 1953, Winston Churchill was knighted. Nice. Which is another thing I kind of think is ridiculous.
Knighting and everything else. Yeah, that's a popular.
I mean, back then it probably meant a little more, but I mean, you fucking actors get knighted these days, and really, because you can act.
Right. I guess it's about bringing value to the brand that is, you know, Britain or anything else. I mean,
I
it's
suppose. But when they're knighted, they treat them like gods, even now, you know?
True. Yeah, I mean,
You're knighted over there, you can do whatever the hell you want. Sean Connery smacking women off bridges. And that's cool, Sean. You're good.
Yeah, no problem.
You're a knight.
And, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Dame Judi Dench.
Story today.
Yeah, got a big one now.
Crank
Any of these
up.
pocket stories, man. That's where the meat is.
Let's see. Okay, are you familiar at all with poop transplants?
Yeah, no, I have heard that. It's something about the enzymes or something.
Yeah.
To rebuild somebody's immune system, like
If let's see, let me
digestive
read
tract.
this. Anyone who suffers from an intestinal infection called Clostridium difficile.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bacteria that can cause diarrhea or, in more severe cases, life-threatening colon inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
A fecal transplant is oftentimes necessary. You've heard of this?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you. I never heard of it. The previous studies have shown a preference for fresh specimens.
Mm-hmm.
A recent study now shows that frozen samples may be easy for patients to receive and less costly. It gets better.
There had to be some kind of hook on it.
The study examined 20 patients treated with stool from unrelated donors. Donors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think of that. If you have a poop transplant,
Right.
you need a poop donor.
There's a poo donor.
I want that fucking job.
Donate poo?
Donate poo. I poo anyway. Right? Look, we do this because we do this anyway. I poo all day long.
You could make a deposit. We could make a deposit every day
Shit,
on the
you
way.
kidding me? We'll go on the way. We'll do a destination video.
Yeah.
Today, I'm donating.
Donate all kinds of fluid, whatever they need, you know.
Yeah.
Poo, blood,
Semen,
urine, you know, whatever.
sweat, anything that
Whatever
comes
they
out of
need.
me, you can have for money.
Because I'm not using it anymore. I
throwing
already
it
used
away. I'm throwing it away. So they examined 20 patients, frozen up to 100. The donors that were frozen up to 156 days and then thawed for use.
Mm-hmm.
All participants had previously failed multiple antibiotic treatments.
Yeah.
So this has to be like a severe
Mm-hmm.
case. And when you have this, they say you suffer with diarrhea for a year.
Yeah.
You know, you imagine? You couldn't go anywhere.
No, it's nasty. And I mean, it's deadly, too.
Oh, yeah, you're not keeping any nutrients in you. Everything's coming out of you.
Dehydrating, everything else that goes along with that.
You couldn't do an hour commute, that's for sure.
No. I don't know.
Until
you knew where every stop
food
was.
transplant. Oh, and I do, because I used to go this way. I can tell you where every bathroom is.
The nice ones.
The emergency ones.
Yeah, we need a commute app where it can tell you that kind of information.
No, I had an app that would tell you, like, when you stop somewhere to poop, you could tag yourself as pooping there.
Okay.
And then it would compare your poo stops with your friends' poo stops.
Maybe this wasn't any better. Look at that.
Jeez. That depends. At least it's moving. We're just getting lights.
Yeah, I guess. That's not moving up there.
Findings show the 90% cure rate was in the sample group. After just one round, 14 of the patients were cured, and 4 out of 5 were cured on the second round.
Mm-hmm.
One of the men who was not initially cured opted out of the second round to try a do-it-yourself version enema of a roommate's stool. Do it yourself from a friend. So that would be like if I was like, you know what, I'm tired of going to these hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, poo in this cup,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to go in the bathroom and stick it up my
Fire,
ass.
yeah.
I want to shoot your poo in my ass.
Ugh.
Like, it's just...
No, leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, they clean it, they make sure it's what it is. And here's the other thing.
Test it, make sure it's the right enzymes.
Like, you have to make sure, like, people who are donors have to go so many days beforehand without eating certain kinds of grains and stuff like that. You don't know your roommates.
Well, that and you might not get the right thing. It might not even take if you're. You know why? So what? Did something happen to that guy, or that was just it?
That's it. They said you don't want to be part of this group.
That's all she wrote for him.
We're done reporting on you. We're just going to tell the world that you put your roommate's poo in your butt. In many cases, receiving frozen specimens can be easier for patients during the transplant procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Those who receive fresh specimens required a colonoscopy, whereas frozen fecal matter group could be delivered through a tube positioned via the nose that goes down into the stomach.
Yep.
Poo in your stomach. Hey, you're cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
You know? Poo in your nose.
At least they were kind enough to give you a tube to bypass your taste buds. You know?
Well, if it's frozen, it may not taste that bad. Maybe like a chunk, like crushed, like put it in pill form, and you just take poo pills.
Yeah, like dog food.
Yeah. Take a little water with it
eat.
or some wine. Why not? Make a little wine with it. Yeah.
Dabs.
It's good for digestion. An estimated 30% of patients will experience recurrent infections. Frozen fecal matter can be a less expensive and simpler procedure. You've been sick for a year or more with diarrhea and your quality of life has been greatly affected. You easily get past the ick factor, said one of the experts. It's estimated that in the United States alone each year, this bacteria is responsible for more than 250,000 infections that may require hospitalizations and another 14,000 ending in death. So this kills 14,000 Americans a year. You would think it would be more of a known thing. I mean, 14,000 people are dying from it. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. You've heard of it.
Yeah.
Have you ever needed a poo transplant? No. You sure?
Yeah, it was no one I know. Not
you didn't have to take any poo pills?
No, I've never had to have that kind of thing.
Those looking to donate specimens must not eat certain allergens days before the donation, including nuts and eggs, as these samples will no longer be suitable for certain recipients.
Right.
I can go without. I can't tell you the last time I had nuts or eggs. You know, so I'm ready to go now. Drop me off. I'm donating my poo.
Yeah, you seem ready to go.
We're gonna pass a hospital on the way home. I'm
we'll
sure
just
they will
stop in
take
and see if they need
poo donations. You know, and Lord knows tomorrow after Fogo, I'll be able. Let me tell you what, the deaths will go from 14,000 to like 1,000 after tomorrow. Cause I will have
you
poo
alone
to go miles.
Yeah.
Yes, it's. I'm telling you, if you don't poo before you're done eating your meal, I'll be shocked. It's
you haven't eaten enough.
Yeah, and then you're ready to go. You're like, oh, I'm getting full, man. I just want so much more of this meat. Ready to go. Round 2. Green me. You flip that card from red to green. More meat on your plate. Since the beginning of the study with the initial 20 participants, researchers have treated an additional 11 patients with frozen specimens at a 91% success rate. So, frozen poo seems the way to go.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that was I came across that a while ago. It was just a weird story. I don't remember.
I'll say.
I mean, like that tagline alone is like, what?
Oh yeah, I saw the tagline, and I was like,
what are you talking about?
this has to be a joke. Let me just click on this. No.
Yeah.
We even have a picture.
To help the people out.
In case you were wondering, this is fecal bacterium right here. So we got fecal bacterium through the nose, in the tummy. Look out, tummy, here it comes.
Yeah.
Yum, yum, give me some.
Well, in that circumstance,
Oh yeah, if I'm gonna die,
give me a double
I
dose,
would eat
man.
it.
It's
I
fine.
would spoon it.
Everything you need.
I would maybe mix it with a little ice cream. Have at it. I'll do anything to stay alive. Even eat your poo. I'll put your poo in my butt.
It wouldn't matter. Would not matter.
And speaking of staying alive forever, Hendrik van Andelschipper. She's the oldest woman to have ever lived. Now, she said it was due to eating a serving of herring and a glass of orange juice every day. She died in 2005. You think they'd give me the age? No. It's a story about the oldest woman that ever lived.
No age.
I don't know how old she is. They were probably done after typing her name. Hendrik van Andelschipper. But she donated her body to science. They did a little study on her. And they're saying that now everybody's lifespan, even if everyone were to do the same thing, is limited by your stem cells. It just depends that how your stem cells, because dying of natural causes, your body just stops reproducing cells.
Right.
Your cells die off and your body reproduces it. And it just depends on how fast your body produces cells. So if they could find that out at a younger age, like when you were in your 20s, they would know the makeup that you had. And then when you were older, when it started to slow down, they would know the exact makeup of, stem cells that you would need to keep the cells going. And then they're saying by that, you could essentially live forever unless you get hit by a bus. But no, let's not research stem cells. Let's try to put our thumb on top of that. Save lives. Why would we want to save lives?
Well, there was kind of a breakthrough on that recently. I mean, they were able to develop stem cells from adult skin cells. So, I mean,
but people will still try to stop all that shit because they see it as playing God.
Well, it's cloning.
And it's just...
That's fine. You play God with your own body.
Yeah, let me play God with mine.
We'll play God with our bodies, and we'll see, what's going on.
How else are you going to clone John Lennon?
Right.
I'm telling you.
He's not going to clone himself.
So, we got a little more liquor history going on.
Yeah, it started up a little bit on that.
Nice, I like this. Vodka. First mention of distillation comes from 1st century AD in Greece to extract salt from seawater.
That was the first kind of use of it.
That's interesting.
And then, of the process. And then it was used centuries later by the Persians, who learned it through Egyptian techniques, and they used it to make perfumes.
Distill floral aromas into perfumes. So many good uses for distillation. Vodka can only be stored for 12 months. I did not know that. Stored where?
Anywhere. Just, that's its shelf life.
So if you have a bottle of vodka, you have to drink it within a year?
Is that a problem?
Oh, no, not at all. That's lucky to make a week out of my house.
That's what it said. I mean,
but
apparently that's its shelf life.
Really?
It's only good for a year.
And then what happens? It's no longer alcohol?
No, I mean, it's still going to be alcohol. It's just not going to have its same,
the same
quality,
properties.
I guess, yeah.
That's probably what that stuff was I drank in college. There was a big, 1.5 liter thing. Vodka. It was $5.
Mm-hmm.
This was back in the 90s. It was called Black Death Vodka. And it was just this black label, and it had like a skull and a crossbone on the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was $5, and I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to drink that stuff. Tasted like ass, but we drank so much of it that night.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was one of the nights I blacked out. Woke up to vomit all over my room. Oh.
Or maybe it after a year, maybe it exceeds either higher or lower the alcohol content that's allowed to call it vodka.
Yeah.
So
It's
maybe
now
after
just
a
some
year
kind of
it goes
alcoholic
below.
beverage,
Mm-hmm.
no longer vodka.
Right, it just can't be classified as that anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it was. You want the AC on or
I don't
no?
know. Just anything to. It's like hot sitting in the sun for some reason.
Yeah, I remember I woke up. The last thing I said that night, we were toasting another shot, and I said, "Tastes like water now."
Sploosh.
Buddy of mine's waking me up in my room. I didn't even lock my door. I was in my dorm room. Buddy of mine comes in. We used to go get breakfast, and we had a class together in the morning. And he's like, it was an English class. And he's like, "You going to class?" And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What the hell?" There's a big pile of vomit on my floor. I said, Who threw up in my fucking room? I had a carpet, you know?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "You did." I said, "I did?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I'll meet you at class." So I get my thoughts together and clean up some vomit.
Yeah.
And it was horrible because I remember we had pizza that night and vodka, and I went to clean up this thick, dried up pile of vomit.
Mm-hmm.
But what did I have to clean up vomit, right?
Yeah.
I was in a dorm room. So I had paper plates, and I'm like trying to scoop it onto this paper plate
Ingenuity.
and throw it out. Oh, yeah, it was. And then there was a little stain. I said, I'll get that later.
Uh-huh.
I got the vomit out, but not the stain. There was the rest of my college career, there was a vomit stain. People were like, "Oh, what's the stain you're for?" I was like, "I don't know. This was that way when I got into the room." Have a seat. I tried everything. They had a shampooer you could borrow at the place. I borrowed that.
Still didn't take it out?
Nothing, man. Black Death vodka. 1 ounce of vodka is 65 calories.
Yeah.
Would you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I just think that it just seems very high in calories for
what it is.
an ounce. Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean,
I mean,
think
it's
of,
sugar.
Yeah, think of the sugars and stuff that go into
I
it.
mean, I get it. It just still seems like a lot.
Yep, that and see, like there was one like Guinness and like stout beer and stuff was like surprisingly low in calories compared to other things. You'd think it'd be the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, beer. Everyone says,
Yeah.
"Oh, beer will give you a beer belly."
Well, it does.
Yay, beer.
There's truth in that. I've scientifically tested this. Yeah. It works.
Let's see. We had the World Cup in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll stick with Brazil. A Brazilian news story in Rio. They were street crime there is very abundant.
Yeah, a lot of like purse snatching and like pickpockets and stuff. Yeah.
So they're trying to clean it up because of the World Cup coming there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want people to feel safe coming there, and they're putting the effort out. And one of their news stations was doing a story on it. And they're interviewing this woman. You see this?
Uh-huh.
And she's giving the interview. And this guy just goes flying by her and rips her necklace, his gold necklace, right off her neck. Just shing! And she, startles her. The news guy runs after her. The guy doing the interview,
Yeah.
he takes off with his microphone and all, goes running after the guy. And the guy actually ended up, he didn't catch him, but he dropped the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to get it back to her. And I thought that was just the best. They're doing a story about street crime. And
Yeah, and there it is. Well, it's like there's news stories where they're like doing a story on like an intersection that's dangerous or something. There's a big like car wreck behind them while they're filming it. Or those idiots like the Weather Channel people. They're like standing out there right next to where they're plowing,
God.
and they get just leveled with the.
They don't see it coming. No one said to the guy, "Hey, the plow's coming," like the cameraman or anything.
Looking right at it.
And the jackasses that are standing in a hurricane at the seashore.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know
These
how much
friggin'
longer
idiots.
we're going to be able to broadcast.
Yeah.
You can see how windy it is as everything behind me is being blown away. But I'm going to try my best.
They must get paid, man. They must get paid
That's
like a
hazard
mint.
pay, you know?
Because I don't know why they would do that. Other than that,
Plus these news guys, they love having their face on TV.
You know, the other thing I don't understand is that, especially the Weather Channel, man. That any kind of weather story, I mean, they will pull weather stories out of their ass to like. I mean, the fact that they're naming winter storms now, like that's a thing.
Yep.
Where the fuck did that come from? Like, why? I mean, sure, it makes it easier to like search information on it. You know, you can just do.
Instead of calling it like the storm of 90 whatever.
You just do hashtag Bethany, and then like it'll come up with the fucking whatever the storm is.
This way they have something. It makes it seem like a living thing because they like to put the fear
people
of
need
God
to
in
blame
you. You know.
And you could blame it.
Yeah, you could blame it. Damn you, Bethany! If I get my hands on you, Charles.
But yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand the tornado chasing people.
Oh, I would love to do that.
But I don't understand that. What are they doing? Why are they chasing it?
It's a rush for them, man. It's their drug. You know, that's...
I understand that, like, being in, like, a dangerous situation is a rush. But what the fuck are you doing? Like, what value does that have? Does that have value?
Well, they try to understand it more. They have, they can track it easier. They can get images. They try to have these storms pick shit up so they can study the inside of a tornado.
I think that was just in Twister.
No,
Did they do that for real?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just Twister.
That wasn't just a movie thing?
Based on... No, did you ever watch that Storm Chasers?
No, because I don't understand. I can't.
Yeah, they have all that stuff, man.
Not only do I not understand it, I don't have the will to understand it because it just seems so stupid. Like, they build like the A-Team vans and shit that are like, they've got scoops and stuff on them so they don't get... And like, didn't a guy just die in that thing?
Yeah, one of those guys just died. I'm surprised more of them don't die.
Yeah, I mean...
But, I mean, the trick is you got to get closer to it or else all your equipment just gets blown away and smashed. And then you got to hope that it'll come pick it up. But, I mean... But that's why they do it. They're all trying to... some of them just do it for the footage because that's their news. They want to be the guys that filmed it and
But at what point do we say...
It's illegal to do that.
Like, we've seen tornadoes. We know what they look like.
Yeah.
At what point? I mean, it's a devastating thing, but isn't there another way of like examining? I mean, they fly over hurricanes in planes. Yeah. Can't we fly over a storm system?
Drop something in it.
Can't you, drones are the big fly a drone around. It's not a dude, it's a drone flying around in the cloud. Can't you get better information from that than...
You would think.
Chase, it's right there! We've got sisters. Oh, man, that is... I hate that movie the most. That's probably my number one movie that I hate the most.
Yeah? Yeah, it's okay.
I hate it. Absolutely.
Why do you hate it so much?
Categorically hate it. It's just awful in every way. Acting is terrible. The story is just... I don't even know what to make of it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing where she was, her father died in a tornado, so now she's like revenge against tornadoes.
Well, and it shows you that really the only thing that you need is a metal pipe, and you can survive any tornado.
Yeah.
You're fine. I mean, as long as you have a metal pipe sticking out of the ground, you can just fucking hold on to that thing. You're fine. It's no problem.
You have everything whipping around and...
I mean, all that equipment and everything, they just needed, like, the shit in their pockets, so it just flew out when you're holding onto the bar. That's all you gotta do.
You need to be doing this, Larry.
Right. I mean, I
need to be doing this.
I missed my calling, clearly. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was far-fetched. I mean, you see, like, hay, they get stuck into wood, into trees.
Dumb fucking cows and shit flying around in the movie.
She didn't get a scratch on her.
That's just...
It would have been great if a bunch of hay just came up.
Just like full of shit like, in your face. Yeah, I don't know. I was just, I can't stand that movie.
The only thing I have against that movie, like I said, I thought the movie was, was what it was. It was special effects, and they were good at the time. You watch it now, and it's horrible. But it spawned so many of those natural disaster movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
just,
in that same year, there was another tornado movie. And then the following year, there were like those two volcano
movies, yeah.
And
they were awful.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones skipping across the rocks that weren't on fire yet.
Oh, there's no way I was watching that. I did not see that.
Oh, I saw it.
No.
Yeah, back then I was watching every movie possible just because I had nothing else. So I've seen everything. Mm-hmm. And it was, I haven't seen, I'd go in the video store. I haven't seen this one yet. Mm-hmm. Let's rent that. Plus I had a friend that worked in the video store.
Oh, there you go.
And they had one of those things where, you get the card punch, and every 10 rentals you get one free. Mm-hmm. And he would just sit there, punch. There you go. There's a bunch of. Yeah, this way if I went in and someone else was working there. Right, oh, I want to redeem my free movie today.
Yeah. I read there all the time.
Do you remember the VHS vending machines?
VHS vending machine? No, yeah. I never went to that.
They had them in the 7-Eleven by my house.
Oh, okay.
And it was a vending machine. They had all the movies lined up, and you would look through them, and you would got it. This was in the early to mid 80s.
Yeah, Redbox 1.0.
Yeah, it was the baby Redbox. Yeah. And you have to get your parents' credit card, because they only took credit cards, because God forbid you stole the VHS.
Yeah.
They charge you $80 to $100 for it, like that was a real price for it.
Yeah.
And you slide the card and you put, B2, and this thing would come over and pull out the VHS and dump it down for you. And you just had to bring it back.
To the vending machine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What? There was just a slot in the side where it went into a box or something?
Yeah. Yeah, you stuck it in, and then I guess they would refill it or whatever.
Then some disgruntled employee had to come back and refill it every day.
They were on it, though, because I know there were certain days where, we wanted to go through all the Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. So we would go and we'd rent the first one, come home, watch it. Right. I mean, this was right up the street from us, so we'd walk up the street and bring it back and get another one. And then by the time we went for the third one, the first one was back up in the thing already.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, they didn't last long. I mean, I don't think they lasted a year. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, because it was cheaper than going to your regular video store at the time.
Yeah.
A little cheaper. It was $2 to $3 to rent a movie back then, and I think this was like $1.50 or $2.
Yeah.
But that was the coolest thing. It's like, whoa, the machine's giving us a movie.
We didn't even have to do nothing. Yeah, that's early Redbox. I wish that was around.
Yeah.
They use that more than going to Blockbuster.
And what they had was what they had. They might have had, I don't know, 70 movies in the thing.
Yeah.
But they were all pretty, I don't want to say new release, because we were able to get all the Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
movies.
I mean.
But they always changed them around too. It wasn't, they were on it. It was like Redbox, man. They were on it.
That's cool. Yeah, I love the Redbox thing, man. That's awesome. You get $1,
Redbox,
and you can just throw it back in any of them. Like, it doesn't even matter.
That's awesome. I just wish they had more movies in them, because in order to watch an old movie, you pretty much have to buy it.
It'd be kind of cool if you could just go on their site, get a movie that you want, and then, like, they say when it's going to be in the box.
Yeah.
Like you pre-order it and they ship it to that box.
Bring it there, and I mean, you can pretty much rent online any movie you want.
Yeah.
Anymore, but that's fairly new that you could really get any movie you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with all the streaming stuff nowadays, it's
Amazon and
there's so many different services. Oh, dude, I was so happy, man. Moon Boy came out today on Hulu Plus. Season 2.
You told me about that.
It's the kid's got like an imaginary friend. It's,
yeah.
Chris O'Dowd guy from a bunch of different things.
So are you watching any of them today?
Yeah. Nice. God, it's a great show. There's only 6 episodes in the season.
Oh.
The whole thing was on there.
Wow.
Oh. Man.
How long is an episode?
Half an hour.
Oh, God.
It's
You
nothing.
might as well make it a movie.
Yep.
Yeah, a 3-hour movie.
Yep. Oh, man, it's so good, though. Yeah, try to run that truck off the road. Let's see what happens. I want to see it.
He's got to take his chances.
I'm not going to get in your way. I mean, you're clearly deranged.
I didn't want to mess with that biker with the teddy bear on the back of the car.
Yeah, that just... Nothing spells anger.
That's intimidating. That's intimidating shit right there.
I just see the city is like giving the biker gang like a bunch of crap about their clubhouse or something.
Wow.
There's like these what is it? The Thunder something motorcycle club has like a clubhouse there in Wilmington. I don't know. You don't even hear about those things anymore. Like the Hells Angels and all that shit used to be like, a big thing.
Like the Thunder bikes.
Yeah, it was I don't remember what it is. It's Thunder something. And the city wants to shut them down because they want to reclaim the building due to like the nuisance property law that they've got, because there's been like murders or something like in the area around it, and they're blaming that on it. So they had like the pastor of like the local thing on there. He's like, man, we don't do nothing. We cleaned up our thing like 5 years ago, and he's like, you got any evidence? Come out, bring it out if there's evidence that we were into anything like that. But he's like,
yeah, whatever.
He's like, we're not the Hells Angels. We're not anything like that. We don't do those things.
Real crime stopping, not just blame.
Yeah,
we'll blame them and see what happens.
Yeah, and then, or do are they reclaiming the property for some other reason?
I have to imagine the biker gang would win that in a court case.
Yeah, I would
think so. You can't just shut us down with no proof. Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what happened to that?
The country's based on. That guy looked like he'd have a teddy bear on the back of his bike.
Yes, he did. He's definitely not a member of the Thunder Heads or
Thunder Bikes.
The Thunder Claps. Or, I don't know. It's Thunder something, man.
They have a little clappy song they do for initiation. We are
just
bikers. Thunder clappers. I'm joining that gang.
Yeah. Well, they just changed it recently, so that's the new thing. Yeah, I mean, how do you go after them if they do?
We're gonna kill you with clapping.
Got a theme song and everything.
Everybody clap on.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, going after
that's stupid.
A group like that.
But that's, that's Wilmington.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody got a bug in their ass. They want to, reclaim property, I'm sure, for some other...
They have crackheads roaming the street in broad daylight.
Yeah. And they're worried about, a group that's been there for who knows how long, 25 years or something.
They clap, for God's sakes.
Well, I mean, and that, it's like you're late on the draw, too. If you wanted to crack down on them for whatever,
right? You
missed your window, like, 15 years ago. Yep. Especially in an organization like that. I'm sure there's a turnover rate on, like, who's a member and who's not anymore, And there was a whole time when, like, the FBI kept tabs on all of those groups. So, I mean... I think they would have...
Yeah, they would have something on these
information
guys.
On them if there was anything. If they were connected to something, or if they're investigating them for something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they need to do better work than that.
Yeah, they're sure as hell not on the radio every week saying,
right.
Here they are again, riding through, terrorizing neighborhoods with their...
Like I said, I haven't even seen them. I mean,
in the
city all goddamn day.
I didn't even know that existed.
At some point, I'd at least hear them go by.
Yeah. So, I mean, who are they harassing here? Is it like 5 guys? I mean, how many...
That's the other thing. Yeah, how big is the gang? It's... Clubhouse in Wilmington, I don't think they're going to be the biggest bike gang in the world.
No, it's... And that's kind of what the guy was saying. And he's like, we're not the Hells Angels. We're not the, whatever the next other biggest is or something. There's a whole cool documentary series on each one of those bike gangs. Like they're their illegal operations and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Hell's Angels and stuff was like an episode, and it goes into their whole...
Oh, their history is interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
How they came to be. And the stuff they were into. I mean, like...
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, the stuff that they did and that they, like... I don't know, kind of abide by and live by and stuff. That whole, like, 1%er, you know...
And, I mean, they think they're big here. They have these legit hideouts in other countries, you know, where they have to go, and they have weapons, just crazy. Grenade launchers, and there's all kinds of shit stored up in this place.
Yeah, I mean, that like, you know, whatever that series was, the Sons of Anarchy or whatever. I mean, that's obviously a cartoon version, but it's, you know, it's based on something. It's not far from, you know?
Yeah.
The one good thing about that show that I didn't hear about until after it was on for a little bit was that whole thing is, it's basically the plot of Hamlet. The whole thing is the plot of Hamlet.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it's based on. That's what they wrote it after. Yeah.
Wow.
So, like, the main kid, the guy that was in Pacific Rim, like, he's Hamlet, and, you know, the father and everything marrying the wife of his father, you know, shortly after.
But I have heard that...
like the whole plot of Hamlet.
You know, people die frequently in it, like major characters.
Yeah. Do they come back right away? And like the following, where no one can die, and just, no matter how many times you're stabbed.
We'll find out. We got a whole bunch of new dead people that can come back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's as soon as they fall off camera, you know, they're still alive.
Yes.
That's it. That's how that show does it. That's what I was saying before. Like, I don't even think Kevin Bacon's acting anymore. I think he's just, like, playing the part, like, just, like, snarky now, because he knows his character can't die. So he just, you know, says whatever. Now, it's not even acting anymore.
No, Ryan, I got this.
No, really, I got it. It's no problem.
I'm gonna go in there alone. You've seen I Can't Die. I signed up for this.
Yeah. You guys are just crazy, aren't you? Just coming in here with all these guns. Well, no, it just doesn't matter at all.
I'm bulletproof.
No, he's not bulletproof. He gets shot all the time.
He's death-proof.
Yeah, death-proof.
He's death-proof. Shot, stabbed.
You just
magnets to the pacemaker.
Yeah. You know, poop transplant later, and he's back in action.
Really finds out about the frozen poop plants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just pocket those things.
They'll have more energy than ever.
That's the other thing. Like this pacemaker and all that other stuff. They build up these characters and make them fragile in certain ways, but then it just shatters the whole illusion. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand, like, the jump scare things. Like, when somebody dies in the show, you know, or gets shot or injured in some major way, you know, you think, oh, well, they're dead. And then they do that, you know, the movie thing where they come back and they try to strangle the person or whatever in their death throes or whatever they're doing. But, like, after you do that enough times in the same show, in the same episode, in the same season, it loses a lot of its power. And I'm talking to you writers of the following. Why do you, what?
Well, like when the one girl the other day gets stabbed and thrown out of a building.
Yeah, spoilers for whoever cares
spoiler
about
alert.
that.
I said girl, I didn't say who.
Yeah.
You knew she was coming back.
Yeah.
You knew she was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't, they did the same thing. You're right. They did the whole jump thing.
Yeah.
You know, the girl's walking away and she grabbed her leg and I was like, oh, I saw that.
Yeah, sure. Great. It's this again, huh?
No, there's only one left. I don't know if it got renewed or not.
I don't know. Yeah, man, yeah. We're gonna have to break bread over this, or, you know, we're gonna have to figure this out. You know, an extra steak for me at Fogo tomorrow or something, because you owe me for making me watch that next season. I was done after that first season.
But it got good, didn't it, though? It got good, and then it got bad. It got good before it got bad. And then you're just too invested.
They had interesting characters again.
Yes.
And then they just, I don't understand who
shit
took
all over. Yeah, it seems like the writer quit halfway through the season.
Yeah.
And they brought back just anybody. Who wants to write for the show? You? Okay, it's yours.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be cool if you think they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. Ah.
I don't know. I don't know who they brought back in, but it was not the right choice, whoever it was.
Yeah.
You know, they brought back in the person, whoever wrote it for like the middle of the first season where it started like turning into just complete garbage. Because there was a point in like the first season where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch this anymore. You know?
In the first season, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was right in the middle there, like maybe third or fourth episode in. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this anymore. I don't think I'm really.
I was hooked on the first season. I didn't like the way it ended.
And I love the way it ended. Like I thought it was just that was perfect. Should have ended no more. But I
didn't
British
like it
shows.
because two things. One, did they die? Did they not? And okay, I can get past that.
Fine. Yeah.
But it was, and I was wondering this the whole time. If they're going to do a second season, like, is it just like a mini series, or do you want to have a second season?
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to have a second season, what's it going to be? Even if it wasn't Joe,
Yeah.
It's just going to be every year. There's this group where someone has followers, and, you know.
Then it becomes something else.
Yeah.
It's just another one of those.
But if there's a season 3,
no, there's no way I'm watching that.
You'll be back.
There's no way. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
I'm gonna be like, dude, honestly,
No.
this year it's the shit. I'm gonna be like 4 or 5 episodes in.
I'll know you'll be lying to me.
I will be lying because it will be the shit. And then
trying to draw me back in.
And then I'll watch the whole season before. I won't try to suck you in halfway through.
Yeah, because I won't listen. I mean, you'll tell me, and I won't listen to your.
But that's if I go back. If it's Joe Carroll still.
There's one episode left. I mean, how does this show end? Right. The last episode of that show. What happens?
Everybody dies in the church, except for Ryan. So now he's got to go.
What about the partner guy?
He's dead. He's in the church. He's dead.
Oh,
everybody in the church dies.
In the church dies.
Except Ryan. Joe dies. Everybody dies except Ryan.
Like he dives out the window in like a glass explosion.
Yes, and he's all cut up and hurt. And they're like, "Come on, you need medical attention. No, get off me. I got this."
And the wires from his pacemaker get caught on a piece of glass.
Whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I gotta save her. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
That's my Captain Bacon. And he.
And he's gotta.
So now he's gotta find the twins.
Right.
Because they have his girl.
Uh-huh.
And then either one of them wins. Either they kill her and him, or they even kill her and he kills them, and he wins. You know, he's the hero, but he just lost everybody he cares about. But he walks off in the sunset. You can even have him kill himself at the end. Mm-hmm. No. First, he'll have the gun to his head, and all the other cops will be like, "Don't do it. Don't do it, Ryan."
That's why you need that partner guy there, though.
Yeah.
He has to say that.
I understand. I get this.
We're friends now.
I'm here for you.
Even though the entire first season I blew you off like you were a fucking douchebag.
And I was kind of mean to you at the beginning of this season. Come on.
But then it's like an abusive relationship between those two.
It is.
Because then like, you know, the Dominic Moynihan guy, he's like, because he didn't tell him about the wife or whatever.
Yeah.
He goes back to him and he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like spit polishing his boots and shit.
Get out of here right now.
Get on out of here.
Then right, you don't understand.
You go warm that car up, you little.
I'll be there in a minute.
Terrible show. Terrible writing. It could have been so much better. They had great characters.
That's the thing, because I mean,
Whoever came
Kevin
up with the
Bacon
characters,
is. I love Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
He's done so many good things.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. But see, I think he even finds the humor in his character.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. Go back and watch any of those episodes and watch him playing that character.
He's kind of got this smirk, that Kevin Bacon smirk on his face, where he doesn't open his mouth. He just kind of presses his lips together.
Did you see that commercial where he's like playing all his old roles?
No, I heard about it.
That's pretty funny.
I guess he's still just a skinny. How do you pull that off?
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking digitize his face or whatever.
No, but I mean, even now, like in the fucking show.
Yeah.
He's in his 50s and he doesn't have an ounce of fat on him. Fucker. And don't you kind of think, here's the other thing with Kevin Bacon. Don't you think he could have done a lot better than the girl that he married?
Oh, I don't know who he's married to.
I don't know her fucking name. He's done stuff with her too.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up, and you're gonna be like, Really? Like, I'm not saying he's the best looking of guys, but he's Kevin Bacon. He was cool, at least, you know?
Yeah, he was very popular.
You would have thought he could have had, and he gets this, he looks like a bulldog with curly blonde hair. It's, she's an actress, but
well, I
ugly
don't know.
people act too.
If they're still married, you know.
Oh, they are. No, that's love. They're, as far as I know,
That's
they're
the
still
thing.
married. At least a little while ago they were.
That's, you know, that I guess that doesn't really happen with those people or so.
No, yeah, it's a good story. Like, hey, they lasted all this.
Well, who knows what gets in the way too,
Time.
especially for that. Also, you know, you don't think about it, but like the work schedule for that kind of thing, you're all over the place. You know?
Yeah, you don't see your family.
You don't see anybody, you know. And
That's sometimes why I wonder if, you know, actors and actresses marry each other because
they know.
They know the work's gonna. Hey, it's only gonna last a couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, I know that.
Do it for money.
I know what it's like.
Do it to
It'd be nice to go
profiles.
home with somebody. We'll have a kid.
Yeah.
Whatever. Because you marry someone normally, they'll be like, "You're never home. I hate your job. No more acting after this."
Yeah. You hate the job? What about the pool? I just saw you getting out of the pool.
You like that?
You hate that, huh?
You like the pool boy that you're fucking? You don't think I know? I bought him for you. I know I'm not home a lot. That's why I tell Raul I got you a membership at the gym. You bang my wife. You like that, don't you? You say goodbye to all that dick.
You got your whole movie career planned out, man.
Yeah, I'm already divorced because my wife won't cheat on me. Because I pay good money for Raul. You think he likes cleaning the pool all day? No. He does it for you. So you can look at his glistening body in the sun. It's like go
It's the whole thing, though. That's good. That's...
Yeah, he loves me. You're not paying him. Oh, yeah? Raul, get in here. Yes, he said. Yes, he said.
You got his voice, too?
You call me? You call me Mr. Frill? Yeah. Tell her. No, sir. No, tell her. The whole thing. It's okay. Go ahead. I just told her. Confirm it. Yes, miss. He paid me to fuck you. Do you like cleaning pools? No, sir. Get out of here. See? He's done. You got 3 days. What was that on?
Yeah. It was Mad Men, where like this guy's mom like started like suffering from dementia or whatever, and she couldn't live like at the house anymore, so he got her a caretaker. Well, the caretaker was like
Banging around.
messing her.
Nice.
So he finds out about it. It was a whole thing.
But was that his job? Was he paid to bang her?
Yeah. After he found out, yeah.
Oh yeah, you kept him on the payroll. Nice.
He kept him on.
See, it's not just me.
No, it's been done. That's a good show. I like that show.
Yeah, it's just one I never picked up.
Yeah. And some people like it, some people don't. I mean, it's not action. It's not anything. But I don't know. I like characters more than I do.
Oh yeah.
Anything else? Like to me, that speaks to the writers, and that's what I prefer more than anything else going on.
Sure. Just like Hannibal's got both writers and characters.
Hannibal's got everything, dude. The directors of that, whoever's doing the filming on that. I mean, they've got some real friggin' artists working on that thing, man. It's that show is no joke, man. I don't know why. I mean, that should be so much bigger than it is. I mean, I don't know.
Well, here's something that Hannibal would like.
Yeah.
Avena Medical Eyes On Glasses. Okay, Avena Medical is the name of the company. They made this thing called Eyes On Glasses.
Mm-hmm.
They're X-ray glasses.
Okay.
And what it does is, they have machines that can only do this, but they found a way to put them on glasses. You put on these glasses, and you can see through people's skin, and you can see their veins clear as day.
Oh yeah.
And they say that it's easier to locate the veins pretty much for IVs, to start an IV.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Give it the phlebotomist, man.
They said 40% of IVs, the first time they try to get it in, fail.
Yeah.
But this is so defined and so definitive. It's good for pediatric wards, prenatal. They can use it for. There's a video on it, and they show like what it looks like. And there's someone's arm, and there's all these veins. Well, they even push down on one of the veins and stop the blood flow, and you can see the blood go through and stop. And then they take their finger off it, and you see the blood start to go through again.
Man.
Really cool. I'll post that on Facebook tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna have to.
It's really neat. And then they can take pictures. They can save images to shoot across at the doctor, wherever he is. It's really for the nurses. And then he can see what kind of makeup they have.
Yeah.
And they can even save it for future references if they don't have that, just to see pretty much where your veins are. They are currently using them.
That's crazy.
The story I found was a couple months old.
Uh-huh.
And they said they're going to start using them the first quarter of this year. And we're into the second quarter
Yeah.
of this year.
Man, I wonder what that would do for like how deep it goes. Like if you could see like cardiac things and.
It didn't seem like you could. I mean, like I said, the veins you see clear as day, but nothing really behind that. Like you're not seeing muscle.
Okay, so it's like that first layer.
It's yeah. I guess that's what it is. But I mean, when I say clear as day, it's like your skin is off and you're just seeing your veins. But really cool, really good. Little, if you have a weak stomach, you might not want to see it. I mean, not
the veins.
The veins, because I mean, it's really.
It looks real. Like
it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing veins, you're seeing blood flow, and then some people just the sight of seeing blood. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, but it's like black and white. It shows up as.
Man.
But the fact that they have something that can see through your friggin' skin.
Yeah, dude. That's
and if
awesome.
you can't go deeper right now, how long till you can?
Yeah.
Adjust it. Turn the knob. I want to see deeper.
Yeah, I need 2 or 3 more layers.
That's going to be that Star Trek shit where they scan your body to see, what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Just pack it with a little bit of poo. You're good to go. Here's your problem. Rub some poo on that. You're good to go.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
That would be fucking awesome.
See, like, blood flow to the brain and everything.
Yeah. Google Street View. What they used to do is, they go through about twice a year, on their cars, and they go by whatever area they want to go by, and they update their information. What they used to do is, as soon as their information was updated, they would just delete all the old data. It's no good to us now. Get it out of our system.
Right.
And then people started sending in. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. For whatever reason, they don't even know why they did it. They decided to save the images of Japan in 2011 before the tsunami hit. So then when the tsunami hit, they said, wow, how lucky is that we saved the images? And then they're able to go back to see what it looked like before.
Okay.
And when people heard about that, people started sending in saying, well, why don't you save all your information so that we can go back just anywhere and see what something used to look like back in the day. So since 2011, they've been saving all of their updates. So now when you go back on there, there's a time-lapse thing you can do.
Oh, wow.
So if you're looking at something, there's a little bar that goes across, and you can just move the bar and it goes back in time. And you see buildings disappearing in the background and, houses changing or whatever.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's really cool. And they say they're going to always do that from now on. So they're going to create a digital mirror or a true record of what the world has always looked like from 2011 on. You'll be able to go to any location and change that bar.
That's amazing.
That's really
cool. That's a good use for something that's so simple,
I mean, think about it. When your kids are grown up and our age.
What did it look like? Okay.
There you go. Anymore, I got to go through pictures and find a picture, me standing in front of the house in my Easter suit and all this what the front door looked like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is. They're going to go live with it. Now, it said Wednesday, so I don't know if this article is a couple days old and it meant yesterday, or if it means next Wednesday.
It's check it when I get home.
Only on desktop right now. They said as of now they don't have plans to make it available on your phone, like the phone app or something like that. It's only on their desktop version. They said they may come out with it again later on, but it's just so new.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine eventually.
Well, it's a lot of information to preload, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's neat. I like that.
Yeah, no, it was a cool idea. It's like, wow. And if they would have kept it from when they started doing this.
Right.
You know, not that it's that far back, but.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you know, you could have seen the whole network build, you know.
Especially in an area like where we live, where it's still building.
Yeah.
You know?
It just goes to show. I mean, save your data, you know. It doesn't cost that much, you know, to keep that stuff.
When we first moved here 2 years ago, our house wasn't on there.
Oh, yeah?
It almost went to my house. I could see it in the distance, but it wasn't there, but now it is.
Yeah, they drove by at one point.
So they don't drive by everywhere 2 times a year.
No.
They've been by my house once. Even then, I like sitting like, oh, who's home when they drove by? What car's in the driveway?
Yeah, what car's in the backyard?
Am I in the front yard?
Oh, that's when we had the swing set thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's before I got so pissed off, I kicked a hole through the pool.
Yeah. I remember that. That's awesome.
You know who has a good memory? Red deer.
Red deer?
Red deer. Back in the day when they had the Iron Curtain, in Czechoslovakia, the border going from there to Germany, the Czech Republic, they had three parallel electrified fences at the border, so you couldn't get through, and heavily armed guards. It's since, gone away, but the Czech Republic did a 7-year study on their red deer, because the deer to this day won't cross that border. Now, deer only live maximum 15 years.
Right. So their generations.
The fences went down 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So they said no living deer right now even ever saw that fence.
Right.
But they refuse to go past that fence. And they said because deer only go so far from where they were born, and the parents, keep them in track, and you don't have to go past this point. That it's just been passed down generation to generation. You don't cross this point. You don't go past her because you get fried. And so they said that the memory the deer have is ridiculous.
Well, there must be something even beyond that, because I mean, if they don't go beyond a certain point, I mean, whatever that radius is, I mean, a deer is going to be born a little closer to that, and a little closer.
Right, exactly.
It spreads, but this hasn't spread.
Your radius is always going to be different, but this one, they don't cross that, and they said that's all they can come up with. Like they can't think of any other, but they tracked these deer for 7 years, and not one deer crossed that border. And it's an open, there's no real thing there to block them.
It's interesting.
Other than the fence. They said a lot of violence. They said 300 people were killed trying to cross the border when it was there, just that one border.
Right.
So there was not just these fences, but there were people shooting guns. And
border that doesn't even exist anymore. People had to die.
Yeah, right.
That's what people do.
So I have a new destination for us to go to.
Oh yeah? What do you got?
Poconos.
Okay.
June 28th. There's a nudist resort up there.
Okay.
And they are throwing their Bear Beach Beer Bash. It's the Sunny Rest Resort in the Poconos. Unlimited beer sampling.
Unlimited.
Drink all the beer you want. They're expecting about 300 people. Nudity is required at the festival area, the pool, and the hot tub.
Required? Really?
You must be nude. Anywhere else, any other areas, I guess you can have clothes on.
Yeah.
But if you want to go to drink their free beer, you'll be naked.
You gotta take them off.
And you want to swim or get in the hot tub, you gotta be naked. In case we can't make it there, they are going to have a pig roast Hawaiian luau after that, and naked WrestleMania Jello and Putty wrestling. Yeah, I'm just trying to come up with ideas here, man.
Yeah, no, it's spitballing here. That's good.
This would be fun, but not as appealing to the eyes.
No. And you got to think, I mean, camera work is probably frowned upon there, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Unless we say, hey, we're making a documentary.
Right.
This is about the art. Don't you guys do this for the, you know?
The thrill of...
This isn't about sex.
Yeah.
But to top it all off, this would be the most terrifying of all. Nude bingo night. Come on, man. There's going to be a lot of old heads playing bingo.
Yeah, I don't... What's the draw to that? Why?
Who
why
knows?
bingo?
The partying and the wrestling and the drinking and the swimming, the hot tub. I get all that.
Mm-hmm.
The luau. Yeah,
Sure.
I get that. But bingo night? You're just going to be sitting at a table.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only one way you find out. You go there with a camera, you make a documentary about nude bingo night.
Well, that would probably be the one you could film because everybody's sitting down.
Yeah, you're not going to get as much. And being the old people, their boobs aren't going to be on top of the table.
Right.
They're going to be down. That's probably how they mark their cards, you know, dip a nipple in some red ink. Doot, high five. Doot, doot, doot.
That's required.
Required. Nipple dotting, we'll call it.
Well, that sounds interesting. I mean,
works. I didn't even know they had a nudist resort in the Poconos. I didn't know there were any around.
No, not as far as I know.
Well, now you do.
Yeah, no.
So tell your wife
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be busy on the 28th.
Right.
It's for work.
Sure it is.
So trying to...
That's June 28th?
June 28th.
That is,
It's not Father's Day.
no, but it's the weekend after, right?
Yeah.
And that's that, they were talking about that Comic-Con thing.
Oh.
In Baltimore or something. So we might have to miss that. I'm
Well,
just saying,
you know,
I don't want to, you know.
We'll find out when the Pig Roast Hawaiian Luau is.
Right. So we can always catch up.
And we'll go that way.
Yeah.
Actually, of all the things, I'd want to see the Jello and pudding wrestling
Putty
night.
wrestling.
Pudding wrestling. You
Couple
wrestle
cats in the
pudding.
Jello.
Well, they do have 8 nipples, so you know.
Yeah. You
You
get
shake
more
the
out
cat
of it.
first.
Right.
Throw in a big bowl of pudding. Let's get all crazy. I'm for it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Anything else to short ones?
Let's see. Anything short, because we're almost to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a Florida school, Creel Elementary. They have their standardized testings, like the CAT testings. They call them the FCAT. In the school there, whenever they do big testing like that, they give the kids 3 tablespoons of Mountain Dew in the morning before the test. So they're ready to go and they're sugared up and wired up. Well, they're putting an end to that.
Yeah.
People were complaining. The principal of the school said, you know, it definitely had. The kids have been doing better since they've been doing that.
Really?
And
I thought
she
I
it
thought
was
caffeine
beneficial.
like negatively affected test results, so she's ready to go.
I guess if it wakes you up.
She's only got like,
Man, she's got the.
oh yeah,
in
she's
reverse
only got
and
like 10
everything.
minutes.
Good Lord. I
Oh,
sent her a
it's
text.
stuck in
Told her,
traffic,
she
so.
could have sent the kids to the neighbor's house. The neighbor kids at our
Yeah.
house. So. But yeah, but apparently I guess it wakes you up enough for you to.
Take a test.
You know, yeah. So. But all right, that'll do it for this episode of The Commute.
Mm-hmm.
Remember to check out our Facebook page, The Commute. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Commute Podcast. Follow us on Twitter @DriverPassenger. You can certainly check out our website, tocommute.com, TWO commute.com, or shoot us an email at thecommutepodcast@comcast.net.
Mm-hmm.
See you soon.